Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Believe it or not, tomorrow marks 5 years of blogging for me. It's our 5-year blog birthday, Blogiversary. First of all, I can't believe that. But in honor of it, I thought I would take a little walk down memory lane and share 5 of my favorite posts, 5 of my biggest challenges, and 5 lessons that I've learned. I feel like 5 years, when you talk to some people in the blogging world, is really short, and others, since so many new blogs have popped up recently, it's really long. I can't really believe it's been 5 years, but at the same time, I can't believe it's only been 5 years. We've done so much in the last 5 years. It's gone from being in my tiny bedroom corner shooting in the light we had for an hour a day with just me, to a team of now 6 people in a studio in downtown, which is crazy to me. So there's been a lot of ups and downs and fun and craziness along the way, and let's take a little look back. So my 5 favorite posts. First of all, when I gave myself this challenge, I was like, that was stupid, because it's so hard to pick 5 favorites. We've done so many, but I figured I'd focus in on 5 favorite projects that we've done. Because a lot of my favorite posts have been like the personal ones that I've done and those yearly recaps that I do. But project-wise, one of my most favorites, believe it or not, I'm sure this is obvious, is the pineapple costume from Halloween. It kind of feels like the moment that marked the beginning of our costumes, even though I had done a costume before. Jeff's gonna kill me for making him share that photo. It's probably the one that got the most attention and still does today. It's our most popular costume, and it also was my favorite. That post happened so last minute. I needed a post for the next day, and I made that pineapple hat in like an hour, and we shot it just before like the sun went down, and it was crazy, and then it just kind of exploded, and I still love it because it's so simple and so fun, and has so many good memories attached to it now. Next, I had to have a piñata in there. It was so hard to pick one of our piñatas because there's so many fun ones that I've done throughout the years, but the taco piñata is probably my favorite. It's also probably one of our most recreated ones. A lot of you guys have made it, which is so fun to watch. I don't even know why I love it that much. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we shot that piñata in front of the same wall that we shot the pineapple costume. So maybe there's like something to that wall, which is just a white wall behind a 99-cent store. It's just like such a fun, easy piñata, and tacos are just like so fun anyway. I'm obsessed with it. And I also got to do a workshop, 2 workshops for it once. One we hosted in the studio, and one I hosted at a conference where 100 people made these like mini versions of it, and they were so cute and really easy. Next up was our lemon shoot that we did. We did it in partnership with Starbucks for a new drink they had, and I think I love this one because it was so different for us, and we really went all out for it. We turned everything yellow. We made like a yellow lemon photo booth. We had a yellow backdrop. We bought a pool and filled it with, I think, about 1,000 lemons. Spoiler alert, that pool was not actually all filled with lemons because we bought so many and we realized that it wasn't even close to filling that pool. Under the lemons in the pool are a bunch of rolls of paper towels, and we just last month finished those paper towels, and that shoot happened in June of 2015. That was so fun. I got to have like a yellow wig and yellow makeup and yellow lipstick. Being as like pale as I am, I feel like I don't look good in yellow, but it was really fun to just like go for it. And it's one of our most shared posts now too. And after we shot it, I kept all the yellow makeup and the yellow wig on, and we went out to lunch because why not? So we had a lot of fun shooting that post, and the photos turned out amazing. Fourth, and these aren't in any order, by the way, I had to include a balloon. Again, it was really hard to pick a favorite balloon, but the donut balloons that I did are definitely one of my favorite balloon projects. I remember finding out that they made donut-shaped latex balloons, being like, oh, how did I not know about this? And then realizing like, why has nobody made cute looking donut balloons? So it was so fun to try to do that. It was a crazy project. It was a crazy shoot to try to get it done. I love them, and I think that was I guess my first donut project was our donut piñata, but I think it was maybe my second big donut project, which if you've been following for a while, you know that donuts are a pretty big studio DIY signature, and I just love how they turned out. And the last one that was one of my favorites was this balloon car that we did. It was for a sponsor of ours, and we had to make these hood ornaments for a car. And we ended up finding a reader down in Orange County whose father collects these micro cars. I think they were called micro cars. Anyway, it was like this tiny, it looked like a toy car, but it was a real car. And I had been dreaming for years and years of filling a car with balloons. I was like, well, if we're gonna do a car shoot, we have to fill the car with balloons. So we like blew up a ton of balloons before we went down to the shoot, and then we just like filled the car with them. And the car was so cute, and it looked amazing with all the balloons like coming out of it. And it was just kind of like one of those moments where I got to fulfill this like random dream of mine. My next dream is I really want to fill a whole room with balloons. Have you ever seen Patch Adams? Patch Adams is my favorite movie. In the birthday scene, they fill an entire room with balloons. And ever since, I've been dreaming of filling a whole room with balloons for really no purpose. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna take the car and just like take it to the next level. I'm dying to do something again with one of those little tiny cars. Oh, and if you like the photos from that shoot, Jeff actually has them available in his Society 6 shop, so you can buy them. I think it's one of his most popular ones. It's super cute for like a nursery. Yes. Now let's talk about challenges. So while we get to do a lot of really cool projects, there's also a lot of really crazy challenges along the way. Some are funny now to look back on, and some are still like really tough. So the first one, since I was just talking about balloons, is shooting balloons. I don't know if any of you have ever tried to photograph balloons. It is so hard, especially because when almost every time we do a balloon shoot, I want to do it outside. I just feel like it gives the balloons so much more room to play with, even though the whole team hates me for that. With wind, the balloons are all over the place. A lot of times when we do DIYs, they're only like front single facing. So it has to be facing all one way, which is literally impossible. Actually, with those donut balloons I mentioned is one of my favorites. Jeff and I got in like a huge fight, and I like punched a wall, and Jeff was like screaming, and it was like crazy because the sun was about to set in like 15 minutes, and we just like could not get a photo of the donut balloons. But we managed to come out with a few, and we're still married, so. And there's been so many other crazy ones since then. We now start taping our balloons together so that they can all face forward, but I'm always hesitant to do that because once you tape them, you can't pull them apart or they pop. Jeff has a ton of funny photos and bloopers of me during our balloon shoots where I'm like being swallowed by them, or they're like blowing away all over the place. It always makes for some really good outtakes for our end of the year posts. It is still to this day a challenge. Okay, next challenge, it's more of just like a tedious, it takes a million years thing. It's fringing a piñata. Fringing piñatas takes forever. I've spent many an all-nighter fringing, and now it's kind of like a running joke that when you're a new team member at Studio DIY, you have to fringe a piñata. Let's think about this. I think Annie's first piñata was the hairspray. Chelsea's was the tropical drink. And Quinn, my niece who interned with us, she did a popcorn one. Fringing piñatas is super easy, but it does take forever, and we're always rushing and trying to get it done in time. So it's still quite a challenge. Next challenge is being just like a perpetual hoarder. There's so many props and things and supplies that come with crafting that I am a complete and total hoarder. We're still working on figuring out how to manage all of this. We end up having a lot of studio sales and trying to get rid of stuff, but I also just like hold on to craft supplies because I'm like, but what if we need that? We actually, this Halloween, ended up using so many things that I had been hoarding for like 3 years, trying to figure out when to keep stuff and when to throw it out. I'm not good at it. Samantha's pretty good at it, so she usually will just like throw stuff out behind my back. And on a more serious note, a big challenge, probably my biggest challenge in business, has been learning to manage a team. It's so hard to learn to let go of stuff and put your trust in other people when you're so used to doing everything on your own, but it's so important and so rewarding. So it's still a challenge for me to learn how to delegate and not just be like, oh, I'll just do it myself. I'm always learning, and it's always a challenge, and probably always will be for me. And my last challenge is the most recent one, which was launching our shop. You guys, people had told me how crazy it is when you start doing manufacturing and getting into the product side of things because it's so different from blogging, but it was so crazy. I'm so happy with how everything turned out, and everybody who's shopped so far has been so happy with their purchase and so enthusiastic, which has been amazing. We've gotten so much good feedback, but man, things that didn't show up or showed up wrong at first and we had to change or came in last minute, so I ended up spending a couple all-nighters getting stuff ready. Things were crazy for our shop launch. All worth it, but definitely the most challenging moment of 2016. It was nuts. If I gave you all the details, which I will spare you, you'd probably be like, how are you still surviving? But like I said, all worth it. And last, I wanted to share 5 lessons that I've learned throughout my 5 years of blogging. I've learned way more than that, but there's 5 big ones that stick out. The first one is it never hurts to ask. This is something that I've always been a proponent of ever since high school. It never hurts to ask for what you want, because if you don't, it's not going to happen. So I did this in high school and in college, where I asked about changing the curriculum to better fit what I wanted to do. And I've done this a lot with sponsors that I've worked with on the blog. I've reached out to them and asked if they are interested in working together, if they have anything coming up that we could work together on. And that's how I've gotten a lot of my favorite clients and sponsors that I've worked with. Of course, there's been a lot of no's when I've done that too, but it's the few yeses that really matter. Second is it's normal to be terrified. If you've heard me speak before, you know that I always say if you're not afraid, you've waited too long. It is so normal to be terrified when you're doing something big or something new. It's normal to be scared, and it's good to be scared because that's what gives you the motivation to succeed. Don't wait till you're comfortable. Just do it while you're still afraid. We're all afraid. I'm still scared about stuff in my business. It's normal and it's good. You need it. Next is learn what you're not good at and hire it out as fast as possible. I learned very quickly that I'm terrible at emails. The first thing I could do was hire somebody, even just for a few hours a week, to help sort my emails, because I just was not good at it. And if you're new and there's not a ton of money coming in, you can just hire an intern for credit, but hire out somebody that can do what you can't. A lot of times I think, well, I'm a DIYer, so the first thing I should do is hire out somebody to help with DIY. But at first, that's what I was good at and that's what I liked to do. It was more of the business side of things that I wasn't good at, the emails, the scheduling. So that's what I hired out. All right, this is the big one. Go with your gut. I constantly have to be reminded of this because it's hard to go with your gut even if other people are saying otherwise. I think a lot of us always have a really good gut instinct, and sometimes we don't listen to it. The best things happen when you do, usually. And Samantha always reminds me of this when I have like a gut feeling about something, even though everybody else disagrees, and she's like, usually when you go with your gut, things work out. When you have that instant feeling when you get a new opportunity, or when you're debating whether to take on a new employee or if this employee is the right person, go with that gut feeling that you get right away because it was there for a reason. And last is always be thinking about the future and where your business is going to go, but don't forget to celebrate the things you're accomplishing right now. And I'm saying that because I'm still learning that. I'm very much a future thinker. I'm constantly thinking about where I can take the business and what's next. And that's important because things are changing so fast in this industry, and you need to be ready for the next thing and see where your business can go if Instagram doesn't stick around forever, or if there's something that you want to start in the future. You have to think about that now to lay the groundwork. For instance, product-wise, I knew I wanted to do products several years ago, and I started trying to figure out what I wanted to do and figuring out my audience and reaching out to different people, and now here we are finally launching products. But if I hadn't laid that groundwork, I wouldn't be here today. But at the same time, don't be so focused on the future that you're not thinking about what you're accomplishing right now. Or at least surround yourself with people who will remind you to remember that. And with that, those are 5 of my biggest lessons, my biggest challenges, and my favorite posts. It's been a crazy 5 years, and I'm excited to keep seeing where this crazy world takes me. So I would love to hear from you guys about what maybe your favorite studio DIY post or video or anything was over the last 5 years. It's always fun to see what your favorite things are. A lot of times they're the same as mine, but sometimes they're different, and I love hearing it, and it helps me shape what the future of the business will be. So leave a comment below to let me know what your favorite things have been, and don't forget to subscribe because we have a lot of new fun content coming right here too. Bye guys!